Hello my friends, welcome back to the Empire of Mordor. That's right, it surely is a fucking empire. Look how grandiose it is. Also sort of bulbous and disfigured. It doesn't, you know what, it does not resemble any sort of shape. No animal, no food item, medical implement, nothing. Anyway, let's move on. It is episode 131, and I'm not entirely sure where to begin, as I've done a lot of things off camera. I suppose we'll go to the most northern reaches of the Empire, where I've used Dawn Death to capture Framsburg. Now, Framsburg is in fact a fortress, very heavily defended. That is, the map is, you know what a medieval 2 fortress looks like. It's multi-tiered, difficult to capture, so Dawn Death's army took a bit of a beating. We have a few units with casualties in. I've done a bunch of merging, and I've sent reinforcements up from Rakuberg. So essentially, Dawn Death's army is back up to fighting strength, like immediately. So that means we're going to have to pick a target for Dawn Death. Now, for some reason, Dawn Death is in fact the faction heir. I'm sure he has been for a very long time, but I've forgotten that fact. Someone mentioned it in the comments. That is, they asked, who is the faction heir? Because I'm sure that's what they sound like. They're a small woman, apparently. And I would just like to reassure you, it is in fact Dawn Death the Mad. I don't know what happened here, but Dawn Death is now dangerously mad. No longer acting with any sense of rationality or consequence. Literally a danger to others around him. I don't know what causes this trait to trigger, but it has reduced his command by 3. It has reduced his authority by 3 points. It is a morale penalty, my god. A morale penalty for all of his troops. So this means that Dawn Death is no longer the supreme Nazgul. As much as I hate to say it, Dawn Death is no longer the supreme Nazgul in the realm. Looks like Ren potentially is Hormorath. Oh no, it is Dwarf, Lord of Terror. Always Dawn Death's rival. I mean, he has double the command of Dawn Death now. I think it is official. We have to crown Dwarf, Lord of Terror, the ultimate Nazgul general. Dawn Death has been usurped. He's like the Mad King. Dwarf is Jaime Lannister, Kingslayer. Okay, I don't know what to say about that. I'm speechless. But anyway, back to the task at hand. Dawn Death, nevertheless, is still a general, a great general, one of the best. I almost think that he's dangerously mad because of the amount of men that he's lost over his career. Potentially. He's seen so much blood. So much fucking blood. He's personally consumed so much blood. Anyway, we need a target for him. In a turn or 2, he is going to be departing yet again. We're also going to have to garrison Framsburg to some degree.
Get ready for fighting. Come on.
I think maybe we'll grab these units and we'll leave them there. Whatever we don't use, we'll send back to Rakuberg because it is, of course, a soft target. Now, I think I previously mentioned that Dane's Halls would be a great target, and I still hold to that, although I've just recently scouted Gundabad with our good friend Yaglin, and I imagine Gundabad would be... It's already slightly... I mean, it's very lightly defended, it's somewhat easy to convert, and I'm sure that it also has a bonus to trolls, recruiting trolls, and that is desperately what we need in the north here. The nearest troll recruitment center is probably Hormorath's Folly, actually, but at the moment, it's in Goblin Town, it's in Dol Guldur, and that is far too far, essentially. We need some place to recruit in the north, and this is as north as you can get. I'm saying that it would potentially serve as a recruitment center for future campaigns. So, capturing Gundabad may be a better option than capturing Dane's Halls, but I would ultimately like to capture both in the short term. That way we can bisect the dwarven... I guess it too is an empire at this point. Speaking of... I've just noticed as well. We have some dwarves making themselves known on our northern flank. Looks like we've got Captain Philly and Captain Buren both threatening the northern reaches of, I guess this would be Mirkwood Forest. Buren himself threatening Thranduil's halls. I thought King Bard would be the one to threaten Thranduil's halls, but oh no, it's Captain Buren. Bizarrely. In the northeast, the dwarves also have a pretty strong presence. They have... How bizarre! We've got two Captain Burens, one threatening Thranduil's halls, the other picking his ass in the forest. He has roughly 3/4 of a stack to his name. Potentially a full stack if he were to actually... You know, if these armies were to coalesce into one full army, it could potentially rival Dwar of Wa, Lord of Terror, who I have since removed from Riverrun. Riverrun now being garrisoned by garbage troops, pulling some from the rear to reinforce. I've got Captain Gazduff heading on over from Arundelen to garrison Amenufuin. So here's my thoughts. We can garrison Riverrun. I should mention as well, I said I was going to capture Asgaroth off camera, but I tried to do it, and then what I saw was a custom settlement, a really fucking cool looking one, so I thought it would be a shame to leave it out of the series. I apologize. But at the same time, I'm excited to do this battle because it does look really fucking cool. So we'll do that at the end of the episode, but anyway, back to the task at hand. My idea here is we can capture Asgaroth with Yagor, leave a small complement there, a small garrison, and we can do like a pincer move to capture Dale. Both of these armies have catapults and the like,
Get ready for fighting.
so we could do like a lightning strike and end the faction. As far as I know, these are the last remaining regions of Dale. Rather, Dale is this one. There we go. Territorial ranking. This would be 4. They're at 2. Or rather, it looks like they're at 4. 4 or 3. Very bizarre. So maybe they do actually have more territories. But regardless, we have to capture Dale at some point. King Bard is a turn out.
My enemy.
My concern is we besiege Dale and King Bard. He is no mere captain. I mean, he's captain of the entire kingdom in a way. So maybe it would be a better idea to cross the river and attack King Bard. Kill him in the field, and then we can isolate Dale. See, my issue here is if I were to attack Dale with both stacks, one of them would be AI controlled, Yagor would be AI controlled, and he would just ruin the army. So I worry about that. Maybe what I can do...
No sleeping here.
We can capture Asgaroth, we'll cross the river wherever we're able. We'll cross the river, we'll have Yagor... Shit, well here's the thing. The army in Dale is likely to sally out if we were to attack. It's a bit of a tough one. How about we capture Asgaroth with Yagor, we'll have Dwar of Wa besiege Dale from this side of the river, and then King Bard will be forced to attack us, if he wants to save Dale, that is. Either in Asgaroth or in Dale. We can retreat in either case.
It will be an honor defeating you.
And then we have him cornered here, where both of our armies can meet him in a field battle. Maybe we can even get a forced draw out. I could potentially do the same with Captain Erkenwyn. I could do a forced draw out with him. Anyway, the point is we are going to be capturing Dale, possibly Erebor, and then that may be the end of the campaign in the northeast. Although, having said that, I've seen that it looks to me like Azanulimbar Doom is the only dwarven settlement in the east. It is the easternmost, rather. it says the North Rune is held by Rune in the campaign map, but then in the mini-map, it's telling me it's held by the dwarves. I trust the campaign map first and foremost, but that's a weird situation there. I think the thing here is you have to find the settlement, and then it will change the mini-map color. I'm fairly certain that is the case. But anyway, the real point is that if we were to march on Azanu Limbar Doom, that would secure our easternmost border, and then we'll have no issues traveling west. The only thing is, the dwarves have... You know what? They actually don't have that many regions. Their regions are large and sparse. So we're potentially targeting Gundabad, Dane's Halls already. We're potentially targeting Erebor and Azanu Limbar Doom. How fast do you think I can say that by the end of the series? Azanu Limbar Doom. The odd thing out is this city, Worm Cove, up in Withered Heath. I'm not sure how we'll manage that. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on the dwarves for that long, because my feeling is we really need to focus on other foes. Focus on more dangerous foes. But I gotta tell you, I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. I'm torn. I really am. Because if we were to just quickly clean up the dwarves in the northeast, push them back to Litash and anything west of here, we could secure the border north to south with Rune. That would be amazing. And then we would just have to deal with Arnor, the High Elves, and ultimately Harad. See, here's the thing. I don't want to have to spend too much time in the northeast because I want to get the war with Harad going, like, right away. But I think strategically the best option would be to end Dale, end the dwarves in the northeast, broker a ceasefire, garrison the western, I was going to say coast. Garrison the west coast, LA, San Fran, maybe Seattle. Seattle's on the west coast, right? Who knows? Americans do. And then we can focus on Harad. I think that is the best option, so that is what we'll do. Speaking of, though, actually no, before we head down to Harad, I just want to go to the middle of the kingdom, to the region of Dol Guldur, where activity has basically ceased. We can't recruit, we can't retrain because we're broke as hell. I am, however, sending Uvatha the Horseman the Merciless with his siege equipment and his reinforcements south, where we currently have a full stack led by Captain Shagduff, who are going to be shacking up in Minas Tirith very shortly. I've elected our faction leader, Legath the Watcher, to lead that army. He is, I guess by virtue of his being the faction leader and the warlord of Mordor, he is the only proper Orcish general this side of Mordor, truly. We have all sorts of governors, but they all have either 0 command or like 2 command. It's horrendous. We are in fact going to need another general though, so I've elected Ufzag the Obedient, the former governor of Pelargir, to lead the army out of Emen Arnen, which will eventually attack Tirith Raid. And we've got troops marching there at the moment. As we speak, this is happening. It actually works out because Ufzag, he is a promising commander, he has a talent for command, and my hope here is, and he also has all sorts of retinues that will help, all sorts of traits that will help. My hope here is, once we have him in the field, he will shed some of the negative traits, gain some positive traits, and become a much stronger general. For example, he is a drunken heathen. This man's drinking has become a problem, and now he regularly makes a royal arse of himself. So, my intuition tells me that he's gained... This is true for all of my governors. They've all gained these negative traits due to the very fact that they are governing. And on another level, it works out because Ufzag is a worse governor than Zaglan the Mean. So we'll send him to MNRN. We'll build probably half of an army there. We have a full army in Minas Tirith, and then of course we have Uvatha the Horseman en route. 2.5 armies to blitz Harad where they're soft, which is in the south, in Harad proper. The only issue here is we have 0 intel, and there is a very small chance that we actually are able to get any intel. It takes money to hire spies, that's for sure. I've also elected Zagrad the Obedient to act as our general out of Dunharrow. I want to build him a small army to besiege and capture Eric, and then eventually perhaps capture Calimbel as well. I've got my 2 armies built in the extreme, actually on the west coast. I've got Hormwrath of Deer. He is on the border, and actually we probably need to pull him back a bit.
First, be gone. I will only address be gone.
Yeah, we'll pull him back ever so slightly. Okay, so I've got an army with Hormwrath. He has his reinforcements. He has his siege equipment, which will be arriving very shortly. Oh, Captain Grishnak. Fairly certain that is an actual important character. Like a named character in the books and the films. I've also got Gazbag on this river with his reinforcements and siege equipment. And the idea here is that we're going to use these 2 armies to crack the nut that is Talsir. The real problem here being that if we don't do it properly, the elves can focus on one of our armies, which is why I've moved Hormwrath so that he's not going to be attacked by all of the elven forces, because if they were to coalesce into full-formed armies, we would have a real problem. Ideally, the elves would attack Gazbag on the river. That would be fucking great. Once we do this pincer move and capture Talsir, we are basically, as far as I'm aware, free to move on Lond Angren, move on Lond Dire. It seems, well, I say that, and there's a fucking half stack right here. But my intuition tells me that if we were to push the border to this river, it would be much more defensible. Yeah, there's 2 river crossings, one by the town, one way the fuck up here, split between Lond Dire and Dunird. And I imagine Isengard will likely help us. So this is almost like Imladris in that it is a hotspot for elvish resistance. Speaking of Imladris, I've got 2 stacks en route.
Ready for fighting.
I don't think we need both stacks to capture it. I think we'll have to station both there for a few turns so as to weaken the army within Imladris, but also prevent counterattack. And eventually we can grab one of these armies and do something else with it. But the question is what? I don't think I want to push further west. We will, in fact, actually share a border with Isengard in the west once we're done with Imladris. I don't really want to push on Arnor. I don't want to push past the mountains, essentially. I'm quite happy to have this defensive situation going on, although I'm happy to capture Imladris because it itself is pretty defensive, because there's only the 2 river crossings that we can clearly funnel enemy troops into. For example, I don't want to capture Coldfells. It seems to be quite out of the way. There's a lot of open territory that we would have to defend. Litash, much the same. I think we ought to, yeah, bisect the map north to south and then focus on one enemy at a time. That would be great, especially if we could cut Harad down to size before ultimately turning on the elves. That would be excellent. So that's my plan here.
Get ready for fighting.
We'll suppress resistance in Imladris for a few turns, and then we'll send one of these stacks north. I think we'll send probably Ren the Unclean, the Merciless. We can send him past Hormarath's Folly up to Gundabad. So we'll have Dawn-Death capture Dane's Halls. Here's the thing. Do we want to... In fact, I think it's necessary to dispatch Dawn Death immediately to prevent any further dwarven armies appearing in the north, because it is becoming a problem. The only issue here is that there's quite a few dwarves in the west who will threaten Framsburg, so we need to garrison Framsburg well enough, which is what we're going to be doing. So, Hornbrass Folly in 4 turns, and I think we've gone completely clockwise around the kingdom. Empire, my bad. And I feel like that is a good way to do it. So, let's return to Esgaroth, and we will actually end the episode with this siege. It's very interesting, and thinking about it, I've probably brought far too much siege equipment. Captain Harkind? Who knows? He has basically no troops. It's going to be a sad little siege. It's like the distant memories of a siege. The siege fumes, if you will. But I want to show off the map regardless, so I will see you guys on it. Ha! Fucking excellent. Look how moody this is. It's a dreary day with all sorts of fog, and this is the city of Esgaroth. This is perhaps one of my favorite custom settlements I've seen so far in the campaign. Look at this. We've got a nice little dock in the center of the... Good God, where am I? A nice little dock in the center of the town with what looks to be like perhaps a custom statue? I have no idea. But it looks like a lot of fun. I'm loving this. I can't say, though, whether this bridge is traversable. But anyway, I definitely brought far too much siege equipment. I've got ladders and towers and whatnot sitting basically unused. Primarily because there's... Oh my god, I apologize for the twitchy camera, but essentially this is the only section of wall that we're able to attack. And it looks to me like there's a barrel of potatoes out here somewhere. Good god. Is this how you conduct a siege offense? My god, what the fuck? We're looking at the sky. Is this how you conduct a siege defense? By leaving your dry goods, your potatoes out in the wintry, the blustery winter? Is that how it's gonna be? Man, alright, we are throwing some fiery balls at the enemies here. I don't think we need to use flaming ammunition, but somehow it's quite effective. Let's send in the archers. My thought here is I want to take down the walls before I advance. Primarily because I don't want to have to deal with the javelin men on the walls. They'll tear through rather, anything I sick on them. So we'll do our best to remove the enemy from the walls, push them into the center of the town, and then we will advance with our massive fucking armies. Okay, let's put the archers on the bridge. Oh. For some reason we can't get a proper... Okay, there we go. For a single second we were unable to issue a proper order, but now we've done it. Okay. Let's... Actually, I wanted to show you guys this. I don't know how many of you are aware of this fact. It's a little known fact about Medieval 2. You can actually slow down time. Well, obviously you know you can pause time, you can speed time up, right? Did you know that holding shift and clicking you can actually slow time to a 0.1, a tenth of the regular speed? Look at this. For some reason, oh, listen to this guy. For some reason, the wall has turned into stone. Oh god. Okay, we have to leave because that guy is annoying me. For some reason, the wall has turned to stone. There's some sort of modding and scripting trickery going on here. It almost looks like... Perhaps there's two textures for this section of wall, but they didn't want to animate the destruction, so they switched to the default stone, and then they switched back to the wooden once the animation is over. That is my intuition. I'm no modder though, so don't take that as any sort of proper deconstruction of the technique. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that you can slow down time to such a degree. For example, I actually want to see what the arrows look like in super slow-mo. It's like bullet time. It's the Matrix all over again. Unfortunately, lacking Keanu Reeves. Let's see if we can get a proper cinematic view of this. The answer is no, but we can, however. Oh my god, I was gonna say watch the catapult balls fly in, but unfortunately... but unfortunately, the camera itself is buggy as hell. So, let's just stop fucking around, shall we? And destroy the walls. Okay, it is at 50%, 71. Let's get the guys off this section. We'll throw hundreds of arrows their way, cause very few... Oh, well, there goes one guy, actually. It's quite sad. For all of the arrows we're throwing, there's very few deaths. I definitely want to get these guys off the walls, though. Well, unfortunately, we've actually prevented them from retreating at this point, so... Our hands are basically tied. We have to shoot these guys to death now. There's no two ways about it. But there we are. We've broken a massive hole in the wall. And there we go. They actually retextured it in wood. Wonderful. Oh! My mistake. They're able to retreat due to this ladder. It reminds me of Stronghold 2. Anyone? Just me? Oh, I meant to bash down the gate with my Olakai as well. So we'll send him in. May as well. Let's grab our raiders and our maulers. Yeah, just the raiders are probably necessary. Well, fuck it. We'll send in everything. There we go. The archers are currently firing at some huntsmen. Lovely. Let's get them inside. Their arrows, rather, are going to be super effective. It's not very effective. Tell you what, there was a time in my youth when playing Pokemon, I didn't understand the type system. So I always used to like have a level 100 Pokemon and he would use... Well, I shouldn't say that. I understood super effective, but I did not understand it's not very effective. So I understood that fire beat grass, but I didn't understand that electricity was weak against rock. If this is making sense. So I would be playing Pokemon, I would have a level 100 Pokemon, and I would use a move, and the narrator would say, it's not very effective, and I would say, bullshit it ain't. I just one-shot that Pokemon, silly game. Ha 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 ha. Eventually, of course, I grew up to realize that you can cause critical damage by matching types, but you can also cause less damage by mismatching types. Anyway, let's have the Olakai just ram this gate for no fucking reason. Why not? As we wait for our archers to cause some real damage here. We'll have them use all of their arrows. May as well do. We shan't endanger any lives. We'll grab our orcs, send them in. The Olakai will send in. There we go. Here come the bandits. They're going to try to run off my archers, but of course, it's not going to be... it's not very effective. Whereas these arrows are fucking super effective. Holy shit. Okay, let's focus on the javelin men. Pull back the archers. In fact, I did have to pull them back. I just don't want to get my Olakai stuck by javelins. Those huntsmen are going to be very, very problematic. They're going to fucking trigger me, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so we have destroyed those bandits. They're fighting to the death. And I want to fire at these huntsmen.
Battle is very much in our favor.
Ah, fuck. We're going to have to charge them with the Alakai regardless.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their
Okay,
men.
let's fire into the courtyard again. The Alakai are going to break these guys. No fucking problem, that's for sure. We just got to get there before they get a volley off. Come on, you... Come on, you bastards. Get in there. Holy shit, there it is. Fucking immediately they come in. Just ruin these guys' lives. Okay, we're gonna have to get them out of that situation because they're going to be receiving javelins like they are now. I desperately don't want to have that happen. Alakai and trolls in general are considered heavy infantry. As we all know, javelins are the counter to heavy infantry. That is for certain. So, this is my thought process behind shitting my pants whenever I see javelins with my trolls. I can, though, get on the flank and attack those bandits. I see no reason not to. Our archers, though, need to stop firing. That's pretty clear. Get the orcs involved. Come on, you assholes. Oh, God. Just scroll the camera over to hear men screaming. Ah! I love the... Oh, my God. Stop. You fucks. I love watching my Alakai kick the ever-loving, like literally kicking the ever-loving shit out of these dudes. That one just kicked a man straight up into the air, which is brilliant. And yet, these javelin men are still throwing javelins at my Alakai. God damn. Okay, let's... Who is left here? Seriously, 27 javelin men left. They've yet to break. God, good God, my Alakai are just tearing into these bandits. I tell you what, the bandits are like the red shirts of the Third Age. They're just so weak to absolutely everything. Cavalry, Alakai, it's fucking great. Okay, let us run down the remaining guys.
Men have taken control of the city.
And that should be it for the Battle of Esgaroth, correct? Oh no, there's one more. One more bandit left. 9 Alakai for 1 bandit. Boom! Stay down. There we go. For a second there, I was worried it was going to be one of those situations like in films where the hero just continuously gets beaten down, but he stands back up again. But that is not the case. Alright, let's take a quick look at Esgaroth, see what we get for loot and whatnot, and we'll probably end the episode. Well, we got about 22,000 gold from looting and destroying buildings. So, I mean, Esgaroth is no Moria. It is no Goblin Town, but it's certainly paying down our debt. We're currently accruing about 13,000 gold in debt per turn. That's pretty sad. We're almost adding as much to the national debt as we gained from looting a single city, and not just any city. This is Esgaroth. This is a trading hub. I mean, look at this. We've got a dockyard. We've got a warehouse. There are paved roads. Roads? Where we're going, we definitely need roads, actually. It has a merchant bank, and it also has a caravan stop. I'm telling you, this place is trading with everywhere, although the revenue is certainly underwhelming. Let's see. No. Trade. Show me the trade. There we go. We are trading with Riverrun and Era. That's not too surprising, but we are trading with Grasgard, Kugavad, and Dorwinion. Let's see. There's Grasgard. That's Era. That's by land, of course. This is Dorwinion. And this is Kugavad. Wow. That's interesting. So we're actually trading up the river into the inland sea here. And we're trading with 2 cities, but we're not trading with Kelipar, nor are we trading with Miststrand, the capital. That's too bad. Is that due to distance? Or is it a lack of trade fleets? Looks to me like we have 4 trade fleets, so I'm not entirely sure why it is we're only trading with 3 cities, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to point out that Esgaroth is in fact quite the trading hub. In fact, nearly all of the income of Esgaroth is in trade. There's a small amount of farming income. Okay, so as I said, we'll leave a garrison in Actually, we'll leave all of these troops in Esgaroth, and we will besiege Dale to draw out King Bard. And I think that's essentially the end of the episode. I'm going to end the turn, and if there's anything that needs to be addressed before the start of next video, I will, of course, fill you in. But it's unfortunate. A lot of the episodes lately have been retellings of things that have happened, things that don't necessarily need to happen on camera, that's for sure. Things like army building, capture of secondary settlements, and the like. But I'm just trying to keep the episodes short, and yet, here I am rambling. So, let's end the episode here. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. As always, my name is Incoherence. You guys are fucking awesome, and I will see you all later.